The teen brain, the childish brain is an interesting thing. Do you ever look at your kid and be like, what is going on? Do you ever look at your kid and like, what are you thinking? Do you ever look at your teenager like, what is wrong with your brain? And so,
and then your spouse goes, well, you know they're you as a kid, right? They're exactly how you were as a kid. And you're like, you're so right.
Oh, that was funny. It's so true. Yes, like, yes, I was new as a kid. This is what, you brought this. Right? Mm-hmm. So here's some things. We've talked about this a lot on this podcast. It's really positive and helpful to study our kids' brains, our neurology, their psychological development, but it can be so hard and nerdy and so boring to look at stats. So I did something unique. Can I tell you what I did for today, Jordan?
Please. What'd you do?
I went on ChatGPT and I typed this prompt in. Yeah, I did. Ready? It says this: tell me 10 interesting things about a child's brain and why it is so impulsive, selfish, mean, lazy, and into watching screens.
Oh my gosh. I want to really know what it says, but more importantly, something had to have happened to have you ask a robot about a child's brain. Did something happen where you're like, I got to figure out what AI thinks of this? Like, what's going on in your world to make you ask that?
Yeah, well said. Thank you. So I have been a little bit surprised that some of my clients, not some, we're talking like 2 or 3, small percentage of my VIP members have been telling me that they've been going on ChatGPT and asking for parenting advice. And it's just becoming more and more part. And even one of my members, he was asking me about a situation because his daughter brought home the classroom hamster. Mm-hmm. And she loved it. She was like,
I brought home the classroom Tamagotchi when I was in 5th grade.
Yeah, but big problem happened. It was all good until the hamster got out and got into the vents. And now the child, his daughter, was freaking out. Is she going to be the one responsible for killing the classroom hamster? And she's just having these breakdowns. And our kids can even like her anymore. Are her friends going to break up with her? Is her teacher going to be mad? So he was like going into ChatGPT, like, how do I get a hamster out of my walls? Do I need to tear down my whole drywall? Do I turn on my heat? If I do, will it kill it? And how do I comfort my daughter, when she's going through a crisis? Our hamster is in the wall. And ChatGPT is giving him parenting advice. And I was like, I really got to get to know. It's really just becoming more and more popular.
That's so crazy. My wife's been using it a lot. It's just weird to me that we're using AI for stuff. And I guess it's great because maybe we're embarrassed to like ask our parents, hey, what would you do? Or friends. It's like so much easier to ask a robot. But before you let us know what it said, are you impressed by its answers? Are you thinking that this is giving humans a good...
Yes and no. I've been dabbling with it for like 6 months, but yes, absolutely impressive because it's just like really easy to read bullet points on any topic you want. I normally like to ask it like, give me 3 ideas or give me 10 points or like what I might say today. I might use it. I used to use it a lot when it first came out. I'll say we created a podcast about kids' janky brains and why they're so this and this. Give me 10 ideas on how to title this podcast because I don't think we should call this podcast episode "Kids' Janky Brains and What to Do About It." We should probably come up with something better than that.
Yeah. So all right. So I want to know what it says. Obviously, I'm super curious. And it's just using robots to help us out. But you know what? Hey, if they're gonna help, that's great. So did it say like human beings are a crazy species and you need to first take
here's the key to I think how we're going to make this episode really meaningful because I think it really is going to be meaningful and purposeful. I think I'm going to read these 10 things really briefly and then you and I are just going to talk about it and how to actually parent like about it because what's not helpful is you read a whole book on the child's brain but you don't get any help from the author about what to do about it. Like how to parent in it. And so I'm going to give some parenting tools and we're just going to have some fun as we go about these 10 things. All right. 10 interesting things about a child's brain and why it's so selfish, impulsive, mean, lazy, and into watching screens. I'm interested. Okay, number 1 is something we've all heard before, so it's not a big shocker. The other ones are some of them are going to be pretty surprising. It's an underdeveloped prefrontal cortex. It's responsible for planning, decision-making, impulse control, and understanding consequences, and it's not fully developed until, we all know this answer, age what?
20, 18, 25. I don't know.
Have you heard 25? I've heard 25.
I've heard 25.
A lot. And it often explains why kids and teenagers often act impulsively. So I got a great parenting tool about that. But yeah, any thoughts on prefrontal cortex?
What do we do with the adults that haven't had a developed prefrontal cortex? Because let's be real, there's some adults out there that act that way.
Here's
you
what
can't
you
have
do.
that excuse anymore.
You just invite them over for Thanksgiving and for Christmas for like a 2-hour period, and then you say, thanks for coming over.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
And you make them stay in a hotel when they want to come visit you, right?
It's just hard because, of course. Okay, you're getting into a personal conversation now. I think, with these kids, the problem is we are a product of our own environment, right? You're asking a question that we in America are going through. But if you were to go to like a third world country, they're going to have a completely different outcome. They're not going to ask the same question. If you go back in time, you're not going to ask the same question because kids had to do work in order for the tribe or the family to survive.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's like we've given them everything, and now we're saying, well, you're so lazy. Well, yeah, I'm lazy because you gave me everything. I don't have to work for it.
Oh, my gosh.
So
I was
it's
just
almost
talking about
like...
that. Yeah, yesterday.
Were
Go ahead.
you?
Sorry. With a parent
No.
yesterday. Yes. Yes.
But like, what were you talking? Why were you talking?
I was in
about
a
that?
private session with this lovely family in Southern California, and their 18-year-old son, is about to finish up their senior year in high school. I hope I'm not interrupting. Am I sure I'm not interrupting you?
Please, no,
And,
keep going.
he's got into 10 great colleges, including University of Arizona, University of Utah, some really good universities. And he's about to finish out, and he even got a full ride scholarship for baseball to a smaller school. And so,
It's amazing.
great stuff, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. That should be celebrated.
Problem is, he's got a bunch of C's right now. He's not practicing for baseball.
Oh, no.
And he's sleeping until noon. He's got a bad attitude. And the parents saw him playing basketball with his friends at the local gym. This is the problem, their problem. I'm not saying it's a problem. It's their problem.
Okay.
And he was playing 3 hours of pickup basketball with his friends wearing Vans high tops.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the big deal here?
Right.
I'm just curious.
What's the big deal? So, right. That was well said. What's the big deal? How do those two stories relate?
Right.
Well, how I tried to help him, guys, you've given your son, you worked so hard. You're very successful people. And one of the reasons why you're so successful is because you work so hard. You're both working parents. You have a nice home. You can afford luxuries, nice things. You have all these nice things. But your son is not like you. He doesn't have the same work ethic because he just doesn't, and he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
He why would he need to work so hard and work the level that you want him to work when he's just content kind of being a kid and having fun?
It's like the classic example of the immigrant coming over to try to create a better life for their family, working endlessly to create something, and then the kids don't appreciate that hard work and they don't have anything to do with it.
It reminds me of that saying that Joe Rogan likes to say, help me with it, because I probably will butcher it. It's like hard
Tough
times.
men. Yeah.
Hard times create good men. Is there strong men? Tough men.
Tough men, something like that.
Hard times create tough men.
Tough men create
Good times.
good times.
Good
times
create weak men.
Weak men. Yeah. Or lazy
Weak men create tough times.
Yes.
Is
It's
that
a
what?
circle. It's something like that. Yeah.
So I felt like that story was a good, real life example of kind of like what you were saying. Did I miss the point, or is
No, that is the point. And I'm just trying to think of what ChatGPT is, saying this is why kids are having this, and that, because the prefrontal cortex is blah, blah, blah.
Here's a couple of tools. Let me
When
give
we
you a
get
couple-
older,
I want to
we
keep going
forget
through
this.
these. We
Go
do.
ahead.
Here's a couple great parenting tools, okay? Here's tool number 1. Your kid wants to do something, but you're looking at them and they haven't really thought it through. They don't want to listen to you. So it's a great tool
Fly
to
by the
say,
seat of their pants. Go
yeah,
for it. Yeah,
it's a great tool. There's a lot of tools in your toolbox, and this is a great tool. This is a great tool to say, you know what, this is your life. I trust you. If you don't want to wear a coat out, and it's snowing, that's okay.
That's what I
That's
do with
your
my kid.
that's your choice. So it's like that's a great choice. Like just letting them reap the natural consequences of their actions. I found out there's a brand new parenting term out there, and I have never heard of it, and I had to Google it. Let me make sure I'm telling you what it is.
Who creates these things? Golly,
Right,
okay.
I think
what
the
is
media, right? And then some podcaster, she actually, I talked
Sure.
about it, which made it even more popular. It's called FAFO.
Oh, yeah, that's not new, but yes.
It's not. Oh, that's not new. It's new to me.
Okay.
F around and find out.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's like, hey, all right, you're not going to wear a coat and it's freezing outside. All right.
Yeah. All right,
FAO.
it's on you.
Right?
That's right. FAFO.
So just like letting that go and letting them like find out. Here's another great parenting tool. I use this with my teenager after, this really great teenager made a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Did I say that enough?
You did.
And it was clearly like an underdeveloped frontal cortex issue. And I said, okay, now that we know this happened, I'm getting involved now. I need to protect you from yourself.
Yeah.
And you've shown me you can't protect yourself. You can't manage this on your own. I'm getting involved now because I love you, and then this is what I'm doing.
That's good advice. Okay, so sometimes we need to take the steering wheel,
but
figuratively and literally. Like
but how
are not allowed to
talk
have
about
the keys.
taking the steering wheel really matters.
Okay.
Right? Like that's a cool. I think that's a cool phrase. I am doing this because I'm protecting you from yourself.
Yeah, that was good.
Versus, all right, you're in trouble.
You're not allowed to do this.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're not trustworthy. That's
Right.
why. Right?
Yeah.
Look at you. You wanted to be treated like an adult, but you act like a kid. Versus,
Right.
I love you. I'm jumping in now. Like this is what we're gonna do and then here's another great tool.
Dude, I love that.
I'm getting involved. Right, because your brain's not developed. You got brain damage. It's fine. Everybody your age does. But I love you, and this is just for a period of time. You're gonna get on a good track.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna let go. And then give him
Dude,
that
your
hope.
prefrontal lobe-tex or whatever is not fully formed.
Lobe-tex.
So sit down.
Dude, I want to say
Cortex.
that with a San Diego accent.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yo.
Your prefrontal lobe tex is not really fully developed, my bro.
Sounds like a snowboard brand. You got the lobe-tex, dude? Dude, I got the brand new lobe-tex.
Frontal cotex to the motex cortex. All right, number 2, ChatGPT. This is really, really interesting. And you don't want to talk to your kids this way because it's kind of too scientific. If you're really into the brain in these words, you're probably 10% of the population. Number 2, children have a higher dopamine sensitivity. Children's brains are more sensitive to dopamine and the reward neurotransmitters. This is why our kids are more into YouTube and these games than we are because, boom, it's a drug-like effect. ChatGPT, talk to me. This makes them more likely to seek out rewarding stimuli such as screens or instant gratification, rather than long-term rewards or more effortful tasks. This explains why they prefer watching TVs or doing chores to homework. Mm-hmm.
I just saw this meme the other day. I'm trying to remember it. It was a picture of a guy who was fit, and he was like working out and straining his muscles, and it says, "The road to heaven is hard." And that was his daily. And then it had a very large person eating, bad food, sitting and watching TV, and it said, "The road to hell is easy." Mm-hmm. So it's like the day-to-day is easy on your body, but you're going to a bad place versus going to the promised land is very hard day-to-day.
Well said.
Right? So anyway, I just found that to be interesting with this
also
second
just
point.
a compliment to everyone listening to this podcast. By you listening to this top podcast, you're like, what we're doing is we're trying to do self-improvement. It's not easy to listen to a podcast or read a book. It's easy just to mindlessly scroll or to look,
correct.
It's like listen to podcasts. I don't know if this is a huge dopamine experience for you. Hopefully our jokes and our giggles will help you have that. But like, I love this generation of parents because we're like, we really don't want to, we want to be better than our parents. And we're not afraid to step into the pain to do good things.
I could read a book one time about how to be a good parent, but in the moment where I'm frustrated, I have to use the right words like you just did. about, hey, I love you. I have to take the steering wheel from you because I want to protect you. I wouldn't have done that. In the moment, you're heated. You're like, fine, no more of this. You got it. And if we don't listen to podcasts like this or stay up to date on it, we're just not going to be our best selves, in my opinion.
Number 3 reason why our kids are the way they are. This is not a big shocker. Egocentric thinking. Children tend to be egocentric, meaning they have difficulty seeing the world from other people's perspectives. This is a developmental stage in which their brains are still learning about empathy and social interactions. It can result in behaviors that may seem selfish or mean.
Yeah, that makes sense. They don't have the time on this planet to have that wisdom yet, right?
Here's a couple great parenting tools for you. All right, I use this. I've had to use a ton of these with my third child, ages 6. She's 8 now, but over the last 4 years, I've had to do a lot of this because more than my other 2, this child is kind of not is anymore, very egocentric, just was not thinking around people and still kind of struggles with that. He's the type of 8-year-old that's like, in a room and she's making loud noises and annoying everyone in the room and just touching people, bumping into them, just like sometimes bossing me around. Like, it's like, what the heck? It's because
who
they
do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? Well, this is because her brain is struggling with seeing. So here's a couple tools. Hey, I that doesn't feel good to me. So can we care about my feelings too? Right? Just slowing it pace down. Let's say I have a teenager. I love doing things for you. I love you, but I have feelings too. So can we talk about like creating a win-win so it feels good to me too? What are you talking about, Dad? What are you talking about yourself? Why are you being weird?
Right.
Like, you're the parent. Just do it for me. I was like, I do love doing things for you, but you're older now, and I want to have a more adult-like relationship with you. So I care for your feelings, but you also care for mine. Gosh, why do you got to make everything so difficult?
Yeah.
Right? So those are some tools, just helping them process your humanity.
Yeah, because you're really trying to help them understand how others are feeling. Because let's be honest, like, we all think the world centers around ourselves and our lives. It's weird to me sometimes when I sit and people watch, I'm like, wow, everybody is having their own different life experience, right? This person has this going on. Look at that person. I wonder what's going on in their world. And they think everything revolves around them. I think everything revolves around me. Isn't that weird? Like, we're all having our own journey. But when we're young, we don't understand that.
Yeah, we are all struggling with selfishness and finding our place in the world and how to be loving and caring and be a great person. All while we have this selfishness inside of us, right?
Yeah, because we can only see the world through these 2 eyes that we have in our head, right? I can't see the world through your eyes. Yeah. It's crazy.
All right, number 4, emotional brain dominance. Ooh, strong word. ChatGPT. Dominance. Emotional centers of the child's brain, like the amygdala, don't think I said that right, are highly active, while the rational areas, like the prefrontal cortex, are still developing. The imbalance can lead to heightened emotional reactions, such as acting out, throwing tantrums, or saying hurtful things without considering the consequences.
Yeah. It's not formed fully yet, but hopefully over time it will.
Ooh, I got a great tool for this one. Oh, this is a good one. You ready for this?
Is it like have kids, have someone else watch them for 18 years, and then when everything's developed, you come back and they're a full functioning adult? I don't have to worry about that.
Like how people send their dog away for like 2 or 4 weeks of doggy training school.
That's right. Come back and I want you to be a new dog.
Send my kid away for 1 year, 2 years, this phase. Send my teenager away and come back when you have a job.
Go to boarding school. Boarding school, shape up, and then come to me when you can actually talk to me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's okay. So
what's your tip? I
here's
gotta
a
live
couple
through
tips. This is something you say to yourself. Hey, don't take this personally. They're just a kid. Their brain is focused on dominance. Don't take this personally.
Oh, say this to ourselves. This is our self-talk as parents. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like don't
take it personally.
Don't take it personally. Number 2.
How? It's hard not to, though. Come on. It's hard. All right.
Hey, tip number 2, self-talk on the same. Hey, just because the circus comes to town doesn't mean you need to join it. I love that
good.
one.
That's really good.
Tip 3 is they don't consider the consequences, so they're reacting. So, you know what? It's my job to be the adult in the relationship right now, to be the loving adult.
Yeah.
Right? How do I respond and not react? All right, number 5.
That's
Imperfect
fantastic.
social development. Ooh, this one strikes a chord with me real quick. Imperfect social development. Kids are still learning social rules, norms, and how to interact with others. When a child behaves in a mean or selfish way, it often reflects their growing understanding of how to share, collaborate, and express themselves in social contexts. It's a stage that helps them eventually build more mature social skills, right?
Why do some kids, though, deep down, immediately, right when they're young, they have this sense of like love and care and share for others, but the kid right next to them, I mean, it could be in the same family. Twins. I got twins. One kid is completely like sharing and loving, and the other's like, no, mine, not yours, mine. And I'm like,
interesting.
Where does that come from? It's weird.
I don't know. Where do you think? I don't know. Where do you think it comes from?
I don't know. You would say, well, it's their upbringing, but it's not because you teach them the same thing. I would love to hear from like a preschooler teacher. Like, oh my gosh, you'd imagine like all the kids I see. Some of them are like angels, and others are little devils. You're like, where does that come from?
Yes, yeah, because obviously the easy answer would be like nature versus nurture. That's just their nature. But you know what? One of the answer might be too is like that child has different skill sets, different gifts than the other child. So let's say the child that is really obsessed with toys is actually going to be a future engineer or architect.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Or a future like Pixar designer. While the child who's more kinder and sweeter, they're going to be like the best future stay-at-home mom ever.
Yeah,
like they're just like they're so empathetic and they're caring and they're a great they're the type of person that everyone likes to be around, and you know they're just they're just really good with people, right?
I like that idea. It's like a lot of the folks who like can't sit down and be quiet in school end up being like CEOs and entrepreneurs and like the most outgoing business people, but they couldn't sit still for 20 minutes. So that makes sense. I like that answer.
Here's something wise. I'm thinking. I really like. Oh, I'm getting little shivers because I really like what I'm thinking right now. I hope that came out right. But there's probably 10,000 reasons why I believe in God. Logical reasons, emotional reasons, archaeological reasons, historical reasons, philosophical reasons. And one of those 10,000 reasons is I've thought about this like I've never said this before out loud, ever. So I don't know how it's going to come out. Okay,
Please
you look at if you look at ducks at the pond and their baby ducks, like
what trailing behind the mom.
Right. What do you think of? They trail behind the mom, right?
Yeah, in a line.
In a line.
Yeah, it's cool.
They're all like the same. Like this.
Yeah.
Whether a pond in Massachusetts, a pond in San Diego, or a pond in, Beijing, China, the ducks all behave the same. Right?
Good point.
I've never been to China, but I heard that.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you look at let's just stick with one country, America. We got 360 million people about. And this one woman over here, she really is into art. Her sister is into TikTok. Her brother is a lawyer. Her best friend is a stay-at-home mom that loves gardening. We're all like so different. And we have different passions, different ways of thinking. We're all so unique. It seems like there's a master designer that said, you know what, I could have made humans like ducks, like little robots, but I wanted to create something so unique and beautiful where they have their own unique fingerprint.
Right.
And they have these different ways of thinking, and it's going to cause conflict at time, at wars at time, divorce at time, but it's going to be this awesome melting pot of all these creatives together. And we need engineers, but not too many engineers.
Right.
We need stay-at-home moms, but not too many stay-at-home moms. We need firefighters and first responders, but not too many of them. Isn't it just like a perfect mix of all these?
It is pretty wild. It goes back to my people watching idea. It's like everybody is unique and different. And what's even more fascinating as you say this is it must make your job that much more interesting, because it's not like, oh, I got this kid, they did this, I know exactly what I have to do for you. I've done it with 3 other cases. You're probably like, I got to figure out a whole new method for you because you're completely different in the way you think of things or the history or the way you brought up or what you did, which has got to be kind of fascinating how you approach every obstacle.
Wow. That's also just how we approach parenting. We don't know what's going to pop out.
Yeah, but not all of us do. All of us are like, oh, yeah, I've had 4, raised them the same way, all 4 of them, right? Because it's like, it's almost like every kid has to be parented, but then it's no fair from the kid's perspective. So, well, Dad, no fair. Why do they get this and I don't? Well, you're a different kid.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Good. That's really good. All right, let's go to number 6. Need. This is something we can all relate with. Why are kids the way they are? Well, they have a need for instant gratification. The brain of a young child is wired to seek immediate rewards, right? This is that need for, like, that is, if you look at one of the biggest topics from the last, 5 years, it's that topic that you see a lot of podcasters, a lot of writers about. We are immersed with AI in these phones, and we are becoming addicted to instant gratification. And then we're giving all these devices to our kids, screwing them up for a lifetime because they become screen addicted or addicted to dopamine at such a young age. ChatGPT continues by saying this is why they may act impatiently or seem lazy when they're asked to wait for something, like waiting to watch a screen, or no, they're wanting to watch a screen now instead of doing something that requires more effort.
Have you ever been in a situation where, like, you're sitting with some friends, you have friends at your house all the time, and someone's like, oh, man, what was that song? Who sang blah, blah, blah? You're like, oh, let's look it up. And then have you ever been like, you know what? No. Let's just sit and ponder for a second and see if it comes up. You ever done that?
No.
You've never done that, where you're just like, what was that movie that guy was in? Oh, let's look it up. No. Let's just sit and wait and see if it comes to us.
Dude, I'm going to do that.
You ever done that?
No.
Because a lot of people are like, why? And I'm like, just because. Let's just, I don't know. There's like this.
So good.
Is it going to come? Is it not? I know I could find the answer, but I don't want to find the answer. I just want the answer to come to me.
And come to the group and just experience the human emotion of
not knowing.
Unknowing.
The unknown.
Bro, dude.
Yeah. So my question to you.
My mind is blown right now.
How do we teach kids that idea? Like, you're in line at Disneyland, my least favorite place on this planet. And it's an hour and a half line. Can I have a phone? No. Well, I'm bored. I know. Well, what are we supposed to do? Wait.
Yeah.
Well, for how long? As long as it takes.
You just answered the question by modeling it. What great modeling. Yeah,
I've been in a situation before where I don't know if we were doing no tech at the time or it was before that was really a thing for my kids, but we had a bottle of water and we drank it to where there's about a quarter left and we started a bottle flip. Hey, can you flip it over and see if it lands?
Flip, yes.
So we literally just bottle flipping together for the whole line. Who could land it? Who could do a double, right? Have it land.
And you know what? In 20 years, your kids might remember that. Hey, do you remember that one time we were bored in line? We were just bottle flipping, laughing, having a great time. And your kids are never going to remember, hey, you remember that one time we were staying in line and we all went on our phones to distract ourselves?
No. Right.
You're really...
Or you can't have... well, what am I supposed to do? Your grandpa got you a Rubik's Cube. Well, I don't know how to put that together. Well, sit down and figure it out. Now my son knows how to do a Rubik's Cube. I still don't know how to do a damn Rubik's Cube. His kid's showing me how to do a Rubik's Cube, and I still don't get it. My mind doesn't see it, and he knows how to do it.
So good. That's because you wasted your childhood with me playing John Madden football on the
Dude, I will
games.
Still smoke you any day of the
week. You really blew my mind
PS2.
Because I've been finding myself asking Siri on my phone a lot of questions recently. I just have been very curious about topics, and so I find myself asking, and I'm going to remember what you just said because I'm going to sit in the humanness of just like the unknown. I don't have to know, like,
right?
What did I look up? It would probably be embarrassing and silly if I asked you. Like, I don't need to know, like, what I'm asking Siri. I don't need.
Well, think about what TikTok is. Sometimes people scroll on TikTok for 2 hours, and they'll ask a person after they're done, "What did you learn?" I'm like, "I don't know." And there's a lot of stuff on there that you're supposed to learn.
Good stuff.
It just goes in and out.
What did you learn?
The more we know, the less we know. Isn't that weird?
God, oh my gosh, this is so helpful, so insightful. Let's keep going on, even though I love what you're saying. I don't want to move on, but we got to stick with, I guess, the topic at hand. Overstimulation and screen addiction is another reason why our kids' brains are so impulsive and selfish. Children's brains are more susceptible to overstimulation, especially from screens, which provide constant, fast-paced rewards like notifications, colors, sounds. This can create a cycle of screen addiction as their brain craves the quick dopamine and hits screens provide, making it hard to focus on less stimulating ideas. If that is not another commercial, another reason to limit screens, to limit scrolling in your kids' lives, I don't know what is. ChatGPT knows what it's talking about.
Thank you, AI, for understanding our children more than us sometimes.
This is such an exciting time to be a parent because I think finally the majority of parents are finally waking up. We can't do this anymore. We cannot give a cell phone to a 12-year-old. We cannot give an iPad to a 6-year-old. We cannot just let our kids. And yes, TV is so much healthier for children and a children's brain than a phone or a tablet, everybody. So if you kid is watching YouTube, have them watch it on the main big screen in the living room, or just make sure you're watching what they're looking at, because even the ads on YouTube are so sexual and perverted sometimes.
That's true.
Pornographic.
Some of the stuff I'm like, what?
Keep your eye
are you
open.
Watching? Yeah,
Yep.
That's smart. Thank you.
So that's an action step right there. So here's number 8. We'll go through the last 3. Why are kids the way they are? Well, the inability to understand long-term consequences. Yeah. Because their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed.
Prefrontal cortex, dude. It's that prefrontal cortex, bro.
Yeah, bro. And they struggle with understanding the long-term effects of their actions. They may impulsively or engage in behaviors like watching screens too much without responding and how it can affect them later, such as feeling tired or missing out on other activities.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, you don't know what you don't know.
Hey, fun fact. I one time went on a camping trip with 10 teenagers. It was like a church small group thing. And I was doing like a country accent, and they were laughing. And then they started copying it. And I said, hey, guys, how about we do a country accent for the entire trip? Like, no more regular talk. Everybody for like, I think it was 2 nights. 2 days, 2 nights. We only talked in a country accent. It was fun.
You had to use, I mean, the best word that I've learned living in the South is y'all. Y'all. It's just like, it's not like, hey, yous guys. Hey, guys. Well, hey, there's gals here too. Yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. No, it's y'all. And I'm like, I'm not going to say that. And now I say it, and my kids say it. I'm like, gosh, it's just so it just rolls right off the tongue.
It is. It's a great word.
Come on, y'all. Let's go.
Yeah, that's nice. All right.
Cowboy up. All right.
I'm not good with switching accents. It sometimes takes me like 3 minutes, but I'm going to try to switch it. Exploring boundaries. Part of growing up is testing boundaries and understanding what is socially acceptable. Hey, this little Johnny, can result in behaviors that might seem a little disruptive or mean as children experiment with limits, attention-seeking actions, or reactions to their authority, their brains, and learning what behaviors lead to rewards and punishments.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons, too, why that style, country style, it's like respect your elders. Yeah. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. Understand that they have more wisdom than you, right?
Yeah.
A lot of kids, man, they just, especially if you grow up, like in Southern California, we grew up, the crowd I was with, a lot of the friends I had did not have that respect for their elders. That just didn't come. It was
so disrespectful in Southern California.
Disrespectful. It's like,
it's a part of Southern California culture, disrespecting elders.
I don't know where that came from or why that is. It's like maybe they think they're getting respect by not giving respect, and you don't get respect until it's mutual. I have no idea.
It's got to be from the parents are not adequately teaching it, modeling it. Love for elders. Not obviously we can't speak of all 5 million people in Southern California, but it is a thing for sure. And here's the thing about exploring boundaries, and so. It would be pretty neurologically normal to give a screen to a 12-year-old, and that 12-year-old is going to explore boundaries. They're going to click on shady websites.
Of course.
Because that's what their brain is tempting them to do. They're curious.
And it's easy.
Which is why you need to, another reason why you have to protect them from themselves. And then what's also normal is that if you put a teenager on a snowboard, on some skis, on a hiking trip, on a backpacking trip, on martial arts, on playing around with bikes or scooters. They're going to explore their boundaries, don't you? And they might cross the line.
We get hurt. Yeah, we get hurt. Yeah.
And so
which is okay, so we can
Exactly,
learn.
exactly, right.
But we also want to give them a helmet. We want to make sure that they're
Yes.
protected because we know that could happen.
Exactly. I hope everyone feels the same way Jordan and I feel. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's safer for your kids to cross the boundaries of some of these other things that I would just listed versus the mental boundaries of some of the perverted weird stuff on screens.
Yeah. I remember the first time we would ride around in my buddy's car when he was 16 and I was younger than him. I'm talking about Schleifer.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I know
Okay.
Schleifer. Yeah.
And he would drive us around. We'd have a great time. But he thought, as you all do as your kid, you think you're not
Yeah.
invincible.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time he got pulled over by a police officer was probably the best thing that ever happened to him because he learned that boundary real quick. Dude, you can't drive recklessly and wild and not obeying the law.
Yep.
And the cop was great. He's like, listen, I'm going to give you a ticket, but it's for your own good. And it really is. Sometimes we go through
This is
these
true.
hardships, but
Right.
it's really needed.
Yeah, like I've heard many stories of really great, wonderful teenage girls becoming pregnant. And they didn't want to become pregnant. They weren't planning on having unprotected sex. But all these things in their brain were taking place. And they were, they ended up in a bedroom with their boyfriend. Some of them, their parents were home.
Oh, geez.
While it was happening, and they're upstairs or they're downstairs or they're in the basement. So part of like what it means to parent a teenager when they have and they're in a dating relationship is like that, finding that balance of like, hey, we need to set up boundaries here because I care about you. I'm trying to protect you from yourself. You have no idea about these hormones, these temptations that are going to hit you. I want you to feel like I want you to feel like you want your people coming over here, your friends, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. I want them to feel cared for. I want to be hospitable. I want them here, but we have to figure out a way so we can figure out a win-win here that feels good for everybody. Because I don't feel comfortable with you guys in your room with the bedroom closed, right?
When you say for us parents, we have to protect the kids from themselves. For some reason, it just flashed in my mind, reminded me of the saying in the Bible when Jesus is on the cross, and he's like, Lord, please forgive them, for they do not know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like
right.
sometimes these kids, they just do not know.
Yeah,
we do not know.
We don't know. Yeah, they don't know. Our kids don't know. They're so naive. That's why we've got to spend a lot of time building that closeness and the connection, so that when you say, hey, okay, so you're dating someone now, we need to talk about what that's going to be like when they come over here. And they've got to figure it out together. All right, last one, number 10. Why are kids the way they are? Well, their energy and focus limitations. Children, especially younger ones, have limited attention spans. Yeah, thank you, ChatGPT. Big shocker. You're so smart. And they may get easily distracted. Okay, man, come on.
That's adults too nowadays. The technology's making us like that.
We also have a lot more adult ADHD diagnoses. So we have a lot more adults saying, yeah, I have ADHD and I've realized it. So this can be interpreted as laziness, but it's actually just the result of their brains being wired for short bursts of energy and interest. This might find it harder to engage in tasks that require sustainable focus unless they're particularly stimulating or rewarding, like watching a TV show or playing a video game. That makes sense.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the creators that are out there know this, and they are making videos more stimulating, more quick edits, fast-paced. It's wiring our brain to become geared towards this. So when you go to read a book or watch a movie that's slow and character developing, people get annoyed. They're like, gosh, just get to the point. I have to wait 2 hours for, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's really sad. And when they do this to kids, I get even more mad when they gear these shows to trick kids into watching because we're doing this in bright colors. It makes me frustrated.
Let's see what Siri says. I'm going to do it. Hey Siri, what percentage of people watch Netflix with the subtitles on? Have you heard about this? 66%. 66% watch TV with the subtitles on now. Have you heard about that?
Well, I do that.
You do that.
And I'm wondering why? What is this? I have not heard anything of this.
Well,
is this because I'm one of the, what is happening?
Well, I don't think there's any like empirical research done on why exactly. So I just
I'm
have
going
a guess.
deaf. That's why.
I just have a guess. Yeah, I just have a guess. What I've heard from people, from teenagers, from my own teenagers, and what I've seen about this online is the reason why there's subtitles on a screen now is because of what you just said. It creates
stimulation,
more stimulation and action because this.
See, I'm gonna disagree with that.
Okay, please do.
I'm going to disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because have you ever heard of the theory of? It's not a theory. It's actual fact.
Mm-hmm.
The TV show you were watching is at one volume, and then the commercials come on, and it's at another volume.
Oh, so annoying.
So annoying. So you're constantly adjusting the damn volume. I also feel the audio levels on these shows are not the same. When it's an action scene, it's so loud, it's obnoxious, and then when it's a talking scene, the audio goes way down, and I can't hear what they're saying. So I'm having to.
I hate that. Our TV,
I hate
brand new
that.
TV, very
Correct.
expensive, and it pisses me off.
I don't know if it's a TV. I think it's the way they're editing these shows. And so you have to really turn it up to listen to them speak. And then when the action scene, it's so loud. So I keep it down because the action scene is so loud, and I just read the subtitles when it's a talking scene. So I don't have to adjust the dang volume. That's my reasoning.
I like it. Yeah, I don't know the answer. Maybe I'll Google it. It's just
But
energy
if it's because,
and
but if
focus.
I'm tricking myself and it's because I want more stimulation, I'm now
think
really
about it.
mad at myself.
Here's like it's
very
a couple.
mad at myself.
When you think about energy and focus limitations, here's what it might mean for you and your 6-year-old or your 16-year-old. There are some kids that can go and they can play soccer 2-3 times a week and then come home, do their homework, be in a good mood. There are some kids that can do sports 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and then there are kids who cannot. And they're just kids who are 6 and 7 and 10, and they really can only do 1 or 2 things after school because it's just overstimulating to them. There are some kids that just cannot stay up past 8 o'clock. There are some teenagers that they just can't handle the stimuli after school. School is so much for them that they have a hard time doing something after school. You've got to parent the child you have, not the child you want. And I've had some of these child of like adapting to your child. How do we push them as hard as we can push them off screens into good things, social, sports, activities, but realize like your child is not like you. They may not be able to do what you did when you were a kid or live in this schedule the way that you want them to. So you've got to adapt to their energy and focus limitation.
That's great. That's really great. Good words.
Thanks, man. Well, hey, as children grow, their brains mature, and they begin to develop the ability to regulate these impulses, empathize with others, and make more thoughtful decisions.
Right.
However, these early years are crucial for laying a foundation for those skills. And you, parents or teachers never homeschool, so do some of the activities and some of the start using some of the tools that I gave you today. Focus on your kids' emotional intelligence, foster it in your home, and keep teaching them well. And we're going to nurture their brain. It's been such a great episode, Jordan. I had a lot of fun.
My favorite part was like, hey, I love you, and I have to do this to protect you.
Yeah,
that was
buddy.
really cool.